I have a question. Can the friends who listen now, how can they get this book?
Amazon.
On Amazon. Okay. On Amazon, and just search for your name or search for the title?
I think if you put Bible Student Conscientious Objectors, you'll find it there, or you can put my name as well. But
you know what? I try and then I will share.
I'm
okay. No, it's not you. When I put your name, I got music.
There's somebody called Gary Perkins and the Breeze apparently, but I hasten to add I've got no connection other than the name.
Let me say Bible students. It maybe could be also because I have the German Amazon and will be not search for English books. This sometimes happens, but I got it. Yes. So let me share my screen again. So here we go. If I put Bible Students Conscientious.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then it's the first book. So that's the book. Bible Students Conscientious, and yeah.
Some people have been kindly reviewed the book, which is nice. Some are brothers and sisters, but the ones I especially appreciate are those that aren't brothers and sisters, and there are one or two there that obviously aren't, and nonetheless they've been positive in their comments, so that's nice.
I believe that, yeah. So yeah, so friends, if you're searching for, just search for Bible Students Conscientious Objectors, and then you can find that book if you're interested and to read it. Yeah, thank you very much. Thank you. Let's go to the question and answer section if you have still the time, because okay, I have the time, but it's so now it's 10:30 in UK, right? And let's just maybe ask the friends, are there any questions? Do you have any questions to Gary? I will unspotlight us. So here we go. So everybody can see yourself. Yeah, thanks again, Gary. This was really interesting, really interesting. And I hope there will be a second book. Definitely.
Don't hold your breath.
So Diane, please.
Okay. On the posters early on, you had the poster with the woman and the sword, and it was supposed to be justice. Is that ship in the background, is that supposed to be the Lusitania? Is that what the justice was for?
I think so, yes. I have to say that I was thinking, I put this in with my slides earlier on, and I reviewed them earlier today, and I thought, no, I don't think that can be a British poster. That's got to be an American poster for that reason. But I researched it earlier today, and everything said, yes, it was a British poster. But certainly there are similar posters produced in America, and it was sold in a similar way as in Britain, only Lord Kitchener became Uncle Sam, and it was made into a war for righteousness.
Yeah,
well,
the only thing that threw me about the ship, they have all those icebergs, and that would have been the Titanic, which had absolutely nothing to do with World War I.
It was not the German force that Titanic sank, definitely not.
No.
That's a good question, sister. Thank you.
Thank you, Diane. Thank you. Go, Carrie, please. Wait.
Okay, now, is Platt's life story in your book, The Conscientious Objector?
A skinned down version of his story is in the book, yes.
Can you give me a little bit of that?
Yes, I can. Now here's something. How many meetings would you think Frank Platt had attended before he made his stand as a conscientious objector? Well, I can tell you he'd not attended a single meeting. What he had attended was the photodrama of creation.
Oh.
And that was enough for him to understand.
Yes, that was enough. So he made his stand based on his Christian conscience and his limited understanding gained from the photodrama of creation. And it was only after he came back from France in April 1919, he attended his first congregational meeting at the Thoresby Hall in Leeds. And that's when he met again for the second time Atkinson Paget. And so he went through very similar experiences, and he met Atkinson Paget a little bit earlier in Winchester Prison. But they planned to meet up the following day, and then Platt had been given his orders and been told to leave in a hurry. And he met him again at the memorial, it was, in April 1919. So a remarkable brother to have made such a stand, and they really did try to break him. And he was also a conscientious objector in the Second World War.
Oh, okay.
Interestingly enough. Because sometimes, Tomek, you'll know in Germany, there were one or two, well, I say a handful of brothers who were conscientious objectors in both the first and the second.
Ah.
Yes.
Not many, but there are a few. Well, a similar thing happened in Britain with a handful of brothers, where according to their age and the circumstance, they were called up or enlisted in a certain way in the Second World War, and they had to make the stand all over again. And in fact, at his tribunal in the Second World War, Frank Platt could say, "Look, I've been through all this before. I'll tell you what happened last time." I don't think they believed him.
All right.
But
Thank you.
We found the military records that show it was true. You know, he wasn't making it up.
All right.
All that.
Thank you.
Thank you. Good question.
Thank you, sister. Yes, and we had in Germany also more after the Second World War there are a few conscientious objectors who have been 3 times sent to 3 different prisons by 3 different governments. So first Nazis, second, just in the next year after the end of the Second World War by the Russian government who was ruling in Germany, and then released. And then when the GDR was created, East German communist, also then. So 3 times, same person, same place, same thing, same reason. It's crazy.
I didn't realize that was the case. That's amazing.
And I think I have to contact you with a brother who wrote a book about that. This is a German one. He's the Chinese congregation, and his passions about history is the same like you about this.
Is this Marcus?
And Falk Bersch.
Ah.
I'm just searching. I'm not sure if I have his book at. Markus Herberger. You're talking about Markus Herberger. Yes, he wrote about all the conscientious objectors all together in the Second World War in Germany.
Yes, I've got that book.
That's pretty good. Oh, that's rare. That's difficult to get now. That's difficult to get now.
It's great. I say it's great. I can't understand a word of German, unfortunately, but I do recognize the name. So I've been able to document all the names that he mentions.
It's great. I love that book. I love that book. Thanks to this book, I could do my. That's the one. It's just Markus Herberger, and it's written. You should not kill. So this book helped me also. I made a tour about the stumbling stones, and this book helped me a lot.
Yes, I saw that on your site.
That's pretty cool. Joseph, please.
Hello, Tomac and Brother Perkins.
Hi there.
Thank you. Yes, thank you so much for a wondrous presentation, and it was very, very enlightening. Having been a conscientious objector myself here in the U.S., I had personal feelings about it. It endeared me even more, and I was so amazed at how the brothers, some even had limited knowledge of the truth as in reference to like the cross and so forth. They still hadn't given up or understood the need to give up all of that, but they had strong faith, and that was just so amazing to me, and I really appreciated that. And of course, in the United States, they were conscious objectors who weren't Jehovah's Witnesses, but as you know, but they had different reasons. But a lot of it was the peace movement and the things that involve social and governmental things. But I really appreciated this. This was very inspiring, and it carried right on to World War II and Korea and Vietnam and even other things, that other conflicts throughout the world. So I appreciated that. I was just communicating with a brother and friend in England this afternoon. I don't know if you've heard of Herefordshire, Ross on Wye, that
Yes,
area.
I've heard of it.
What part of England are you? Yeah.
I live.
Yes, well, that's where you live nearby there.
I live just below the Lake District in northwest England. It's a lovely part of Britain. We have the Lake District above us, the Yorkshire Dales to the side, and the Trough of Bowland. So it's a beautiful area.
Okay, well, I know I've seen pictures of Ross on Wye and Herefordshire.
Yeah, I don't know it well, but I have travelled in that direction. I believe it's famous for its bookshops, Ross on Wye.
Oh, yes. I think
for
I believe
bookshops.
Yes.
I have to come.
Yeah. Well, this is wonderful, and I hope this presentation, Tomac, is repeated again sometimes, and I'll invite some of the UK connection. Yeah.
It's nice.
Well, thank you so much.
It's nice to hear your comments, brother.
Yeah, thank you.
I'm currently looking at pages and pages, hundreds of pages of court-martial records for American Bible students in World War I, and that's quite fascinating. Really, if there are brothers with very active interest in history of the period, that it would help me to be in contact with some, really. What I especially lack is pictures of early Bible students from World War I. And sometimes, do you remember the Daily Manna books? Have you heard of the Daily Manna books?
Yeah.
Yes. I've heard of that. Yes.
Which
Daily Manna.
They were also referred to as birthday books, weren't they? Because they were like a day's text, but they included a page where Bible students would write in their name and address, and sometimes put their picture beside the text for that day, if it was their birthday. Of course, they didn't understand the significance of birthdays as we do today. But
absolutely,
some of those inscriptions and pictures of Bible students, if you know anyone that's got a Daily Manna book with pictures and references in them, and some brothers will have them, that would be invaluable to me. So
well, I'll do some
any brothers
research.
Yes.
Okay, and are you more interested with the World War I era or World War II?
I am more interested in World War I. People say, what? when I was researching it, people were saying, why are you doing that? Why didn't you study World War II? Well, if there hadn't have been a World War I, there wouldn't have been a World War II. And if the brothers' stand on neutrality has developed over the ages to get to where it is today, and I find that we learn a lot. I can understand now the brothers' stand in Nazi Germany because I can understand what preceded it, if that makes sense.
Yes.
Yeah.
That laid the groundwork for the stand that was made later.
Okay.
And the brothers learned from their experiences, good and bad, in World War I, the things they did and that worked out well, and also the mistakes they made as well, quite frankly. They learned from those as well. And so after World War I, the society sent a statement to the world leaders at an international arms event in, I think it was in Washington. And the brothers made a very clear statement that we're not going to be, that we've made our stand, we're not going to change. When there's any other future wars, we're not going to be involved in any way, shape or form. And the brothers have always tried their best to keep to that. And I think it's a remarkable statement.
Absolutely.
All the world leaders at the time would have read. And they've kept it.
Absolutely, you know.
It's in the book as well towards the end, because at the end of the book, I explain what happened to some of these individuals. I try and weave the story through the book and explain what happened to them after the war as well.
Yes. Well, that's wonderful. Like I have relatives that were in World War II, and my dad actually was in India, Burma, but found the truth a few years later, and that was very interesting. And I even had a cousin that was actually flying was a bomber plane and was shot down over by the German army over Sicily, Italy, during the time the Kusaros were being persecuted. You know that era. So, but if I can find anything connected or pictures, because we do have quite a storied history, because I knew some brothers who had actually, they were conscientious objectors during World War II, and they went to prison. And matter of fact, I know one that's still alive, you know. So they may have some things to share. So,
Gary,
but it's amazing the connection that we have.
Gary, can I show the website Perkins G Academia Education?
If you wish, yes.
Yeah. So if you search for, I just searched Gary Perkins Conscious Objectors. That's it's you, but it's not your website. I have no idea what you have to explain that.
Well, academia covers it's a sort of website with lots of scholars and things. I consider myself a researcher.
Okay.
A
so here you have
historian.
That's some researchers that
there are a number of articles there about conscientious objection, some examples, if people would find it of interest. In fact, I've even translated Marcus's. That's Marcus's article, that one.
That one, yeah.
I translated it into English because it was such a brilliant article that I thought it deserved to be understood. So that's about the brothers in Germany in World War I.
And it's free to download, right?
Yes, yeah, you can download them, and if you find anything good from them, then that's nice, you know.
And Jonas says, if you want, or anybody wants then about these pictures, if you want to send this to Gary, if you go on CV, that's also the email address, right?
Yeah.
So this is how they can send you the pictures, right?
That's right. I don't think, I'm just having a look at that website. Hold on. Take my glasses off to read it.
It's perkinsg.academia.edu.
That's the website you're looking at there, yes.
Yeah.
So I was going to say, we really value the experience for us. I looked not so long ago at Brother Anthony Morris, his life story in the magazines. and he was helped by a brother James Gardner when he came into the truth, and he'll tell you as much in that magazine. But brother James Gardner was a World War I conscientious objector and Bible student in America. And he helped brother Morris understand the truth. So it all feeds through, doesn't it? The experience of faithful ones is passed from one generation to the next.
Absolutely.
And strengthens us today.
I have also in the chat, the sister already left, unfortunately. I should find this earlier. The sister wrote this: fantastic, thank you both. As a young teenager, I was at Craven Terrace and knew Brother Platt. I can't remember much details to why he around, but I learned a lot this evening. Some young brothers I knew in Surrey,
yeah.
Okay. Before we moved to London, did alternative work in hospitals or on the land as conscription still going on, although no war was going on. The brothers fought in courts for CO status in 1957, I believe.
Yes, yeah, that's right. So some of the brothers' conscription still, or national service still continued after the war in Britain for a number of years. Some of the brothers were asked to do work of assistance on the land or in hospitals and things. And some in good conscience could do that because they didn't see that was supporting the military in any way. Others didn't follow that instruction because they were pioneers. And they said, I've dedicated my life, I've made a vow to serve Jehovah full time. I can't serve in a hospital, I can't serve on the land because I'd be neglecting my vow to Jehovah. And so they went to prison. A lot of our sisters, the number of sisters in Britain represented something like 2/3 of all the females in Britain that were in prison for conscientious objection. 2/3 of them were sisters, usually for that reason.
That's interesting.
And I have a lovely story of a sister. I must just tell you this. This sister went before the judge and she claimed exemption as a conscientious objector because she wouldn't fight. And the judge refused to accept her request. And then it came out later on she was actually pregnant. So he said, well, you can't serve anywhere anyway.
Yeah.
Why didn't you say that in the first place? And so she said, well, because that isn't the real reason that I'm objecting to serving in this war.
Amazing.
The real reason is that I love my fellow man and I've got to follow Christ's second command. That's my reason. The fact that I'm pregnant at the time is a secondary concern.
And this really shows the thinking of Jehovah's Witnesses. That's, yeah, definitely. That's interesting. Oh yeah, I got also already now in the chat also. Okay, will this be again? Will you show this? Will this reply this interview? So we will see, friends. We will see. That was our first time, right, Gary? So I really enjoyed this. We recorded this, so Gary and I will also take a look on the recording, and then we will see what we will do with this recording. So we don't promise anything and everything. I will stop right now the recording and say before we finish, thanks again, Gary, for this amazing interview. And yeah, see you next time.
Thank you, Tomek, and thank you, brothers and sisters.